I had this point in my life where I used to wake up on Sundays and just question myself, what am I doing with my life? I was working as a youth minister, and I felt like every Sunday I faced this crisis. See, I believed with all my heart what I was doing was so important. That kids are not just the future of the church, but they are the church today. But I felt like I was having this crisis because I wasn't seeing the fruit that I wanted to see long term. And as kids were coming through my youth ministry program, they were going off to college, they'd come back and I'd ask them, how is your relationship with God? Or what's Mass like at your college? And I remember one kid saying like, well, I haven't found out where the church is yet. And I was thinking, man, it's been 4 months, or I was seeing radical change in these kids as they were going off to college. And I was feeling kind of dejected and really down on myself and down on what was happening in our ministry. And what I began to realize was, if kids don't have deep roots in their faith, it really sends them into a crisis. I heard it said once that trees on mountains, a lot of times people think that they die or they can't live for a long time. It's because of the oxygen. But the reality is the trees on top of mountains oftentimes don't have deep roots. And so I began to wrestle with this crisis and began to think, how can I help be a part of the answer to this crisis, to this problem? And so I want to ask you today to, what's going on in your life or your ministry as you're trying to share faith? Maybe it's with your kids, or maybe you work in a church setting. What are the difficulties that you're facing? What are the things that you're seeing as problems, today? What's challenging you today? So you could share that below or shoot me an email. But really, to really think about that. And so tomorrow I'm going to send another email to really look at this crisis and really think about how do we move towards a solution and what's really going on in the church and how can we be a part of the solution. But comment below today, join in the conversation.